So let's talk about Saturn and Aries, because everybody's talking about Saturn and Aries. And with that said, I'm going to talk about how it feels to me. So Saturn is far away from the sun. It's so far, it's so cold that it's literally surrounded by rings of ice. Okay? So what does that tell us? Yeah, Saturn doesn't give a fuck about your feels. It asks you what you're going to do about them. It asks you to step up. It asks you to not dilly-dally, not to get caught up in the woes of your emotion. It asks you what you're going to do about it. Aries is fire. Aries wants you to do something about it. Aries rules the head, but it also rules action. It rules motivation. It is the get up and do it. It is the aggressor, okay? So let's switch back to Saturn just for a moment. Saturn, the metal associated with Saturn is lead. What do we know about lead? Lead is heavy. Lead is poisonous. Combined with that hot fire of Aries, I do find it really interesting that just a day or so before this transit, that's going to last for about 2.5 years, okay, that the CERN Institute had major scientific news. They finally performed alchemy through physics. So alchemy through physics. This was major news, okay? So what does this tell you? This reminds me of the Adele song, "Turn my sorrows into treasure gold. You paid me back in kind and reap just what you sow." Saturn is also the planet of karma. This makes me think that we have a perfect opportunity right now for alchemy, to turn all of the darkness into something that is bright and golden and warm with the fire of the sun. Because gold is associated with the sun. The sun is the center of the universe. The sun is the heart. And remember what I said about Saturn. Saturn doesn't want to feel your feels. But I will say this about Saturn. The reward is huge. When Saturn is done overlooking your tasks, your life, whatever it is that needs you to really create structure and discipline, maybe not so much like structure, but definitely discipline. It wants you to stop fooling around and get to it. Be about it. Walk your walk. Talk your talk. Like I said, Saturn wants you to see and do what you're supposed to do. Saturn asks you what you're going to do about it, and now you better back it up because Saturn is here. Saturn, when it leaves you, when you decide that you're going to go ahead and be about it and back up everything that you said, it leaves you with a tremendous reward. I mean, a gift of all gifts. What is that gift? Well, it depends where Saturn is, overlooking in your world, okay? Where he's overseeing, making sure you're not overlooking. So it could be a golden watch at the end of this 2+ transit, 2.5 years, I think. Or it could be, your Maserati, your Ferrari, and a beach house. It all depends on the amount of effort that you're willing to put in. So, in order to turn that lead into gold, we need force, we need heat, we need that pressure. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to apply it? What are you going to alchemize in your life? What are you going to turn from lead into gold? Now, I will say one more thing since all of this seems rather heavy. Saturn can also be associated with depression, okay? And maybe even a fall from grace or a fall from power, and that leading toward that melancholy, that being removed from things. Maybe this Aries and Saturn gives us the fire and the heat to warm up and finally get out of that place. Maybe you're going to start really seeing all of the effort that you've been putting in that you feel is just falling on black coldness. For those of you who have been going through a dark night of the soul, keep going, and I promise you the sun is going to. So I'm telling you to be about it. I'm telling you to keep going. I love that rain is falling right now. It speaks to me of new beginnings. I love the church bells that were ringing when I was just saying what I was saying in the last clip. What are you going to shift from lead into gold in your life? And remember, the microcosm impacts the macrocosm, and vice versa. What are you going to do? What are you going to alchemize? All right, magicians, let's get going.